it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island, hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
Portions of this show sponsored by Route 22 Nissan.
Piscopo in the morning, 722. Jeanne Zaino in this beautiful royal blue. Is it okay with the Me Too movement? Jeanne, you come in, you brighten the whole station up with a bunch of knuckleheads in the studio, and I say, wow, you look beautiful, you look great. Is it okay to say that?
Oh, say it away, please. I can't hear that enough, Joe. Please, say it.
I said, I have to ask. The caveat is I have to say, Professor, is it okay that I say you look really great? Is it okay? Isn't that wild, though?
You're very PC.
Yeah, well, not generally. But I am very careful. I don't want to be inappropriate. Yeah. And I guess I have to, now, isn't that funny? You have to do that caveat nowadays.
Although I feel a little bit like I'm channeling Stevie Nicks or something in this. Remember when Stevie Nicks used to do this?
Best outfit yet. Best outfit yet.
I don't know about the sleeves. I'm trying to get used to them.
You do online? You don't do online. This is like...
I can't because all my friends do, but then I get the stuff and it doesn't fit right, and I'm horrible about returning it. So I decided that's not a good thing for me.
Yeah, and thanks so much for being nice to Mikey, next to Mikey. My God, you were so great at the Michael's of Brooklyn.
That was so fun. Thank you for having me. And he is such an amazing young man.
Thank you, my boy.
Talked his ear off. He's so polite. He pretended he was interested.
He was.
He
so
loved
sweet.
But I have one issue with getting to Michael's. Michael's, the restaurant.
Oh, Brooklyn, yeah.
There's no place on the way, and maybe people in Brooklyn know how to do this. I had tea on the way.
I hear you.
And in the 2 hours it took me to get there from Westchester.
Boy.
Where do you stop and use a restroom?
I
mean, that's probably TMI, but I was really struggling.
No.
There's no, usually you see a McDonald's or
if
something.
You're coming from far out.
Yeah.
Nothing. And the Belt Parkway, did you take the Belt out?
I don't know how I got there. I took GPS. I have no idea.
You're the best.
Somebody else asked me, how'd you get there? I can tell you. And I'm like, I don't know.
You're so
I followed
funny.
it, said left, right, left, right.
Yeah. Boom, right there. It's great. So, but you made it.
I barely made it.
To answer your question, I don't know. It's like sometimes where I go, if I'm going out 78 from New York.
See, you know your roads.
Yeah.
Are you a map guy?
I am an old map guy.
Yeah, my dad is a map guy.
Yeah. Well, that's because my father. Listen to this. And to your point, we'll get to politics in a second. In World War II, how did my father figure out where the Germans were? I mean, how did he? With no GPS. How did he find out? He looking at a map, and he got to go from Bari in Italy, and go through Trieste, and then you're going to go into Berlin because they would bomb with the B-17 bomb. But it was a map. Imagine that.
You really had to be smart to read those
George
things.
Patton. It took over all of Europe.
No, it's a great point because I cannot read maps. It's terrible to say.
You can't.
All I do is, even, by the way, when I come down here to see you guys, if my GPS
the
doesn't work when I'm walking from the garage, I get lost. Because I can't read the map.
No,
I'm
walking.
Like left, right.
No, walking I don't get.
And
Absolutely.
the thing keeps rerouting, by the way. Around here, it doesn't work
it's
so
impossible.
well.
Wall Street, don't forget, this was made for George Washington. This was Washington.
Smart people with maps.
Jim Eskerman, when Jim Eskerman comes in, who played Washington, the Geico ads, he's coming in.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's so funny.
That is so
Big
awesome.
man with a horn. He'll know how to walk around here because this is his neck of the woods, I guess. But also when they go, you have 1,275 feet, make a right turn. Like I can negotiate this?
I know.
700 feet, 800 feet. I don't know what 800 feet is.
Inevitably, you get there and it says rerouting, and I'm like, I tried. It's a real problem.
Jeanne, you're the best. Jeanne, do we listen politically to this? I'm embarrassed that, first of all, let's go here, if we may, Professor Zaino. Why is the hate, the animus, the anger on both sides? I go on Neil Cavuto's show, who we love. And I go, look, Saturday Night Live is a comedy show. Don't take it so seriously. Just relax, If you're vicious, like Michelle Wolf was at the White House Correspondent Dinner, then that's too far. And you don't have the credibility of a Saturday Night Live if you're an up-and-coming comic. They could say what they want because they've been around for 40 years, for crying out loud. You're up-and-coming. You can't pick on Sarah Huckabee Sanders, for crying out loud. But then, you can't say that about Saturday Night Live. I'm not going to trash where I come from. And I see the humor in the presidency. I see the jokes. And we should all enjoy it. As the left, is it the far left and the far right, the really rigid right and left? Because the rest of us have senses of humor, Jeanne.
I did not think that she was funny that night.
In
part because
Agreed.
she was making fun of a woman sitting on the stage
horrible.
who had no ability and no opportunity to respond in a really personal and vicious way. So I did not think that was funny.
And abortion jokes? This is funny?
And
inexcusable.
And I thought it was way over the top, and I'm not sure why the White House correspondents, I mean, of course, they said that, took a step back, but I didn't. But some of it is funny. I mean, Saturday Night Live is still funny, but, it's one thing to make a joke about the president. It's another thing to make a joke about a staff member or somebody who works for the president who doesn't have the opportunity to respond. It wasn't a roast of Sarah Huckabee Sanders, as far as we know. So I think that's a big difference. But no, to your point, I mean, people take it so seriously
crazy now
that you can't, you're almost scared to say things.
It's so true. So I always just say, just relax. I understand when they say and show the faults and the flaws of President Trump. I understand it. Sure, okay, let's laugh a little bit. But also on the other hand, Maxine Waters is just hysterical. She's hysterical. And to the criticisms of SNL, I would love to see somebody do Maxine Waters or Adam Schiff or, play a little more to the left. Because they got it's funny on that side as well.
It is. But, you have to do people that people know. So the president is always going to get it the worst because he's the most important, famous person and we all elected him. So they always get it the worst.
And to me, and Jeanne Zaino, you and I have spoken for years now, when we are always honored and privileged having the show. President Trump is killing it. He is winning. To me, he may go down as one of the best presidents ever. I'm sorry. Now I ticked off a good portion of the audience because, you're pro-Trump. He's a Trumpista. Someone called me a Trumpista.
Trumpeter.
Deal with it. Trumpeter, yeah. Hashtag this. I think President Trump will go down if they leave him alone and let him be. And if he puts the Twitter down and becomes indeed presidential, this guy's going to be one of the best presidents. His instincts are so natural.
I think this North Korean summit is, this has the potential, depending on what happens. The handshake that occurred and now the summit coming up, depending on what happens, that could be an enormously important moment for him. And then yesterday, with the Bibi Netanyahu speech and then whatever the president decides to do on May 12th, which I think he is going to step back from it, renegotiate a better deal, and then be able to take credit for a better deal.
Iranian deal.
I mean, let's not forget, the original deal said they're going to get nuclear weapons in 10 years. Well, that's not the best deal. It would be better if they weren't going to get them at all. And so if he's able to negotiate something tougher, he could come out on both of those, I think, in a really strong position for foreign policy.
Professor Jeanne Zaino with us. She's a professor of political science at Iona College. I have to also mention a senior advisor at the consulting firm Applied Techonomics.
And we all like how you say Applied Techonomics. You say it beautifully. A lot of people can't say it the way you do.
Applied Techonomics. I love it. Are you kidding me? I love it. So now they got General Kelly. NBC goes, I get something on my phone, news break from NBC, because I'm a geek and I get all these news things. Oh, General Kelly says things about Donald Trump. I don't want to repeat it. I mean, how do you give that credibility? How do they know? And why are they even concerned with what the White House chief of staff and a great American like General Kelly says about President Trump? Now, this is going too far.
Yeah, and of course, he has denied it. And so I'm not sure where these sources are coming from. NBC says they have all these sources. But to your point, I'm not sure why this matters. And it's interesting because I think it was on 60 Minutes when they interviewed Tillerson, and they asked him the same question because he was reported to have said something similar, and he refused to discuss it, and he said there's a lot more important things going on in the world, and they sat for 5 minutes and went back and forth on this issue as to what he had called the president.
You know how I know, I've said this before, how Tillerson did not call the president a moron because he can't say moron. Rex Tillerson, moron. But with that accent, that heavy Texas accent.
Are you going to miss Rex Tillerson now?
I miss him already. Rex Tillerson. I love these guys.
I don't know if Pompeo has the same, I don't know if he's as easy to do.
How great is this guy? Come on.
I have to say, he did a great job with North Korea even before he got in, and now he's been traveling around already in his first few days.
Yes.
So some people are saying, many people who thought Tillerson was a weak Secretary of State are saying that Mike Pompeo may turn out to be a much stronger.
I thought he was great how we went in there, and I loved him. This is what got them mad. This is what got the Democrats mad, because he knew when he was at the hearings to be confirmed for Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, he knew in the back of his head, I just met with Kim Jong-un, man. Yeah, 24 hours ago. Yeah, that makes the senators. Doesn't it make the senators crazy?
It was a really important thing to release and say that he had done. He was already on the job.
He's Italian.
He is Italian.
He doesn't say a thing. He kept it quiet. West Point guy, you know?
Yeah, number 1 in his class at West Point.
Number 1. Hey,
That's what I heard, Frank. Is that true? I did hear
it
that.
It is, yeah. Number 1.
I turned to Frank.
Frankie
for all
Frankie
facts.
Five Bros. Ask him about cats or anyway. Milky. Is it Milky or Milky? Is it Milky?
Melchizedek is his full name.
No, it's not.
Melky for sure.
No. Hey,
That's a complicated name.
It is.
Did you name him?
I did not. His biological father is Jewish. Is an observant Jew.
Observant.
Yes.
Jeannie, midterms. What are you thinking? You got a great instinct. You know, I mean, does it? I keep thinking in a dramatic way. I keep hoping that the Republicans win, just to irritate everybody. But historically, they always go opposite who's in the White House.
Historically, the Democrats should take the House and probably not take the Senate historically, if you look at the numbers.
Yeah.
That said, we saw the president hitting John Tester really hard over the weekend. And so, and he's in a very vulnerable position out there in Montana. So, I do think the Republicans will hold the Senate. But the House is going to depend. You have a lot of Republicans retiring, and it's going to depend an awful lot on the districts. Sometimes you think that, you hear a lot, but then you don't know who's running against the person. And so if you get a strong candidate on the Republican side, they can take some of these districts back.
Yeah, and I'm looking at West Virginia too. That's big today now.
It's really big. Yeah. I think there's a debate coming up there.
So this is for Joe Manchin's seat coming up? Is that what this is?
Yeah, the Republican primary.
Well, how do you not like Joe Manchin? This is the Democrat you want down there, no?
Well, the Republicans don't.
Yeah, really,
No, but Joe Manchin is a really good guy. He's done a lot of good things. But I do think Republicans feel like it's a district they may. I mean, he's a popular guy, so it'd be tough.
Yeah.
But I do think they feel if they get the right candidate, there's something they could pull back.
All right. Jeannie, did you drive in? Did you drive in?
I did drive in.
Frankie, we didn't send the car? The car never got there?
No.
Is my limo waiting?
Must be on the way.
My chariot?
Your AM 970. Yeah, it's still waiting.
The Pinto broke down. We were sorry.
And happy birthday to Al.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, Did you know? Al, I'm so tired. He had a happy birthday.
There we are. And it's
so nice.
Friday, and the next day's birthday. No one told me. I found out until then. I see a cake coming out. I didn't know whose birthday it was.
Yeah.
But how good that I grabbed that.
What's your sign, by the way?
Taurus.
Taurus.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're very bullheaded.
Okay.
We didn't notice that.
No,
we never
not at all.
noticed it.
Not at all. No.
Jeannie, thanks so much. We appreciate it. But
I love being here. Are we on Facebook?
Yeah,
Yes.
right there. See, we're hi.
Here we are. I didn't even know. I was facing you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
am I supposed to face you?
Yeah.
I don't know where the kid. This is like when you go to Fox and they always say, "Look at 2,
Yeah.
3."
Joe doesn't really like people looking at him, but for you, he makes sense.
Nobody told me where to look, so I'm just looking right at you.
Don't make eye contact. You can make eye contact anytime, Jeannie. Trust me. So wait, between Governor Cuomo, and we'll let
And
you go.
Cynthia Nixon.
Yeah, but
it's so fun.
I know, but the
And
Governor
she
Cuomo.
just hired L. Joy Williams to be her senior
Right.
advisor. Yeah.
But Governor Cuomo walks away with this. Right? He's a political animal. You can't beat this guy.
He
You can't
is
beat
tough,
Andrew.
Although the latest polls closed
What?
a little bit. I mean, it's still like 30 points, I think.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a lot.
yeah, yeah.
Closing a little bit.
Yeah.
I think she's going to really push him to the left. So
Yeah.
it's going to make it fun.
But that's one thing that those of us who like Governor Cuomo don't look at Frankie because we got a different opinion. But why he's pandering plastic bags and then parolees voting for crying out loud? You know?
Yeah. And this is what they're going to do. They're going to try to push him to the left as far as possible.
Yeah.
So, this is all for him, I think, about 2020, trying to see if he could make it in the Democratic primary for president.
Jeannie,
And
you're
they're
the
gonna
best.
push left.
But Cory Booker, Jersey, Mayor de Blasio, Governor Cuomo, on a national stage, your opinion, will they resonate at all?
I don't think de Blasio will. I think Booker might have a chance. I think Cuomo has a tough time.
Yeah.
But I don't see any of those three
Because they're
getting
like
to
New
the
York,
top.
Jersey people, you don't think. And Governor Murphy,
Yeah.
too, wants to run for president, so I hear.
Yeah,
You
it's a little soon, no?
Yeah. No. They step on us in Jersey. They step on us. You came with Jersey. Come on. Where's my next office? Where am I going to my next office? Did you see Governor Christie eating the cheesecake at the...
I did. That
The
was
best. I
hysterical.
love the guy.
Everybody was
I love
laughing and listening, and he was eating.
They went to him, and I think he
hysterical.
knows. My theory is he knows this, and I'm going to irritate America because they know I've had the lap band surgery. It wasn't a fork, it was a spoon, and he went and when the camera grabbed him, just as the camera grabbed him,
In time.
he took a big chunk and upside down the spoon. He just scuffed that down. I know he knew he did it on purpose to
He
irritate
must
it.
have, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't you go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner?
You know, I wasn't invited, and nor was I invited to the White. We broadcast from the White House sometimes. I stay removed.
I know you do, and you've never taken me down there. This is like Al. Remember when he said we were going to go out for a drink, and that never happened?
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
Because did I get a call? No.
All right.
He just says it on the air.
I'm surprised he showed up Friday. Last
me
time he said he
too.
was coming, didn't show
I
up.
was stunned to see him.
I know.
Yeah,
No, guilty
only
is-
because you two were there.
Guilty
and
as
Debbie.
charged.
Oh no, we've been there before. He didn't show up. We know who she showed up
Oh,
for.
I'm not the only one he blows off.
Yeah.
Stop,
I'm
Jeannie.
kidding.
Anytime.
I'm kidding.
Anytime.
Although I
swear to
do
you.
want to go to the White House.
All right, done.
Can you make that happen?
Done deal.
I mean, I know you should bring your mother first, and the kids, and Michael,
Yeah.
and the dog, and Otis.
How to
But
alienate your
if I
family.
could be like a 25th on the list or something.
Done deal. I'll do the best I can.
You heard it.
Yeah.
Is it
yeah.
on tape? Is it on tape?
Yes,
Al?
it is. It's recorded right on TV as well. 7:37.
Everybody knows this guy. No, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.